Hello, this is my Brimstone guide on bind. We're gonna go over defense first. So we're just gonna look at the basic smokes that you'll be defending A with, which are these two. So this one is self-explanatory. Stops people from going out. Actually, did leave a gap here. I think maybe it's just because a new indicator. But yeah, you want to be like making sure there's no gap here.
Launching smoke.
Also, it is a wider doorway now, so yeah, that's the reason. So yeah, you want to make sure there's no gap, and that's kind of like the average smoke you'd be defending with. There's not really too many other options on A, to be honest. Unless you're in post plant, where you would do like the average smoke like this, or you might just do the exact same smokes. Really, it's very unlikely you do any ones different. If you're playing for yourself, you might do like ones like this, and if you have like a shorty or something, you sit in the smoke with a shorty when they're trying to commit showers, or if they're trying to get a plant here. From whatever direction, maybe you can play for yourself a bit more. But those smokes aren't ones that you can really necessarily plan out. They're just ones that you do on the fly to give you a chance to get kills with a shorty or with a shotgun judge or something. When it comes to mollies, ones in these doorways are pretty nice because mollies in this map now are going to get more value. You probably want it to be a tiny bit deeper than that. Okay, I'm just throwing it in exactly the same place. Okay. You probably want it to be okay. You just wait. You probably want it to be like this one. So the center is kind of like in the doorway, because that means it pushes them off this angle slightly as well, and it can force them to like take a fight that they may not want to take. So you want it to be like kind of a bit deeper to get people off like these close angles. Especially if you know someone's on this side, it also makes them more spammable as well. So. Because there's going to be, first of all, took chip damage, and there's also less places for them to go to dodge your bullets. And also there's also mollies like this for defending as well. You can also do, if you hear the plant, you can also do one off this wall of the plant. You can also, if you know someone's cubby, then you can do that as well. There's plenty of mollies for Brim on A. They're planting here as well with this new box. It's a lot easier. I mean, it's exactly the same. It's just do it lower, I guess. Exactly the same, basically. It was. Let's go over to B, because we haven't got much else to say. Obviously, the ult as well is honestly quite self-explanatory. You want to do it fairly like this, so it covers B as well. So it stops them from planting usually if you do it sort of like this. And then the stim is mainly used just to rotate on defense, or to retake, depending on like the situation. If you didn't have to, like, if you were just playing for your life and you didn't have to rotate on the site, then you can like use your stim on the retake instead. When it comes to B, defense is pretty much exactly the same. Honestly, not much has changed for Brim smokes on defense. Oh my god. It might just be the I'm just bad. I think that's what it is. I think you need to like kind of cover. Yeah, I haven't used Brim since the changes to him. So because I've been playing Omen a lot more. And also I just haven't had Brim maps. So at least I haven't played smokes on Brim maps. But yeah, these are just the normal smokes you do. There's not really any like fancy smokes you can do on defense here as well. I haven't tested one on top of this on this, but maybe you can do this. Going to be like a kind of a one way, but not great. Not great. I'm guessing as well that this person can see you. Oh, they can't in the corner, but it's a bit risky if someone is hookah. Unless this is smoked, actually, you can just smoke it for yourself. So it makes it really hard for them to commit long with this smoke. Because I can't really, even though it's not quite a one way, it still is quite hard to fight someone when this smoke is up. If you're standing here, so I guess that smoke could work. I haven't tried it. Might work, might not. Don't know. Mollies are also exactly the same. Gonna put them in the choke points. You can do one at the bottom of hookah as well, because if they drop down, then it's gonna burn. It can really help you as well. And you do one like this as well. Also, you want to make sure like it gets kind of into the choke point, so you can force people out of corners like this. Yeah, that's basically it for defense for B site. If you had to retake as well, like you probably want to be like ulting like this, like garden, or you can ult hookah. If you want them to like be forced to, like, if you know a lot of people are hookah as well, you can use ult, so similar to this. And what this does is it stops them from like leaving hookah backwards, like back towards B short. Instead, you will force them into the areas that are wallbangable. So they'll be forced to like fight you or to get wallbanged. So that's a pretty good ult. And that's pretty much it for defense. There's not much else to say on retakes as well. With the new vent, I don't actually know a lineup through the new vent, but I'm sure there are ones that are effective. I can see one being effective like this or something. To like stop a plant or something. Yeah, there you go. That can stop a plant. You can also use that on attack for post plant as well. If you happen to be like in a 1v2 or something, so you have to like kind of outplay them, you might want to be in a position where you can get a kill. So you get a kill in CT, and then you can like still play post plant with the molly if the other person's on the bomb. They'd be very disjointed if that was the case, but that happens a lot in ranked. So no, we'll play attack. We'll go for attack. Let me just swap teams as well. Why not? So I can actually plant the ball a bit. Ooh.
Got the spike.
So attacking A. Generally, you probably won't go showers that much unless it's like a team-wide call to go showers. Mainly because there's just not much need. These go showers, you don't really bring too much to showers. Or bath, what people call it. I call it showers. A lot of people call it showers. A lot of people call it bath as well, I guess. It's also bath on the map. But a lot of people will like you want like the sky, the soap. You want initiators to kind of go into this area, raise that sort of stuff. You don't really need like your Brim to be there or your controller in general to be there. Usually you'll have a Brim come through this area. It also helps as well because he got a stim, right, and he can like initiate. He likes to initiate some rotations. So if you can use the portal to initiate a rotation even faster as well, like that's kind of how it goes. Like if you want to rotate, then Brim can just stim you off with the teleporter and that sort of stuff, right? But when it comes to A, the normal smokes that everyone was used to was something similar to this. These are some sort of the old smokes, and I think these are still the best smokes, but for different reasons now. So this allows someone sitting on top of this box to fight only heaven and not have to worry about these angles. However, it does cut off this sight line, so you can't fight spawn. And that actually makes me think like maybe there's a world where we actually don't play forefront sight anymore, and we actually play to take the whole site, which is quite crazy. But I'm gonna have to do more research on that and test out more things with other agents to see if that's even possible. At least maybe probably in comp, maybe not sure in ranked. Maybe when it happens in comp, people will be more inclined in ranked. But there's also another option you can do now as well. That honestly I think was an option before, but people just neglected it. Is you can use this. Place it a tiny bit wrong. So you want this smoke. Let me just set that up again. You want this smoke to be far back and on the box still. Okay, I think that's the best I can get. I think I need to put this a bit further right. So we do something like this.
Fully smoked.
And what this does is it gives you a one-way. It's a very small one-way, but you have to stay on top of the stairs, otherwise they can see you. So it's not great, but it can help with like backside rotations if someone's trying to like sneak up, especially if you're planting here. Maybe if someone's trying to sneak up on the bomb planter, then you can see them. As you can see, like they can't see you, but maybe they can catch a glimpse of you. But like they won't be able to properly see you, and you'll see them well in advance before they see you. You don't even have to sit right on the edge like that either. You can sit back a bit as well, or sit more on the left. They won't see you at all. Also, when you're attacking as well, a lot of common ults would be on lamps, and generally you want to try and get like it's sort of like this when you're doing lamps. The reason being is because it forces them into the fight with you.
Open up the sky.
But then they are forced to like kind of be in like these angles, so you can get kills on them and punish them. You can also do it like really far out like this. Then they can't actually run back at all. They actually have to be within this area. The only problem is like this angle can be quite detrimental for like the attackers sometimes if they can play like this. Sometimes they'll get 1 or 2. So it's kind of hard, but lamps, the lamp ult is like normal, pretty normal. And that's kind of it. I think smokes you can also even get away with ones like this. I think now, I think you would need a very specific comp, like, and I actually think that this won't be done in ranked very much because I think it requires a level of like coordination and things that people won't have in ranked. And when it comes to post plant mollies, so we're gonna do post plant mollies real quick. I have a couple. Hopefully I can remember. So the first one is a lineup for
Right here.
for this plant, and it's just the indicator. So you want this leaf. Just watch the indicator. Just the top right corner of the indicator goes there, and this should reach. Yeah,
Right here.
it's not the greatest, to be honest, but it's good enough. There's also one over here. It's a very, very simple one. What you have to do is just come to the back of this thing, and you want to line up this with this with this and this together, and then you want to aim at the bottom of the sign.
Molly.
Then it will land. It's not the easiest one to get right when you're first doing it, but it's one to have for sure because it's very, very fast when you actually do know how to do it.
Molly.
Oh, I actually messed it up. I wasn't fully lined up.
Molly.
Yeah. And then we've got one for triple. This
Right
one.
here.
This one's a bit more finicky, but essentially what it is you want to line up this with this corner of the box against this wall. So against this wall, you want to go slowly across. This obviously will get faster as you do it more, and you want to aim in the middle of this line.
Molly.
So that line there, you want to aim in the middle of it, and it should land on triple. And the thing is that is actually quite useful, right? Because all of this is wall bangable. So you can actually play post plant, albeit a bit risky, to play post plant from over here, but you can do it. And you know you'll get a spray. You can get a spray. It also is a molly that goes quite wide over here, so it stops them from being able to peek like this, and peek you like that. So that means that you can actually do a play where you can like maybe cross over here, based on timing, because they might decide to walk around like this and try and fight, like because they'll assume you're here. But instead you can be on this angle. And then you can spray them when they start to again. So it can give you a timing because they won't be able to like run to this angle, which would actually stop you from walking this way. So it gives you more options as well for it to be this far out. Very minor thing to be fair, but still relevant when you're doing like a 1v1. We'll go over to B now, because there's not much else to say about A. Usually I'll go through long, but you can go through hookah as well. Either one I think is completely fine. Once again, it's the same sort of deal where you want to be able to like stim people when you go through the portal for a faster rotation. Because when you're rotating, right, you really ideally want Brim to be stimming you. If you want it to be fast at least. So being with the portal is kind of nice for Brim. But you can play both completely fine on B, mainly because you want kind of more bodies on hookah sometimes because it can be a bit harder to take hookah than it can be to take long. That could be wrong. That could be wrong like the higher up you go, to be honest. Okay, I can imagine like higher, like super high rank like Radiant, or even like competitive, that actually this area is probably harder to take overall, and actually more desirable to take, so therefore it's defended more because hookah's dropout is kind of annoying to deal with, but in ranked it doesn't get punished enough. So enough ranting about other things. We're going to do the smokes, which are just the average smokes that you saw before. Completely fine, normal smokes. And there's not really any fancy smokes you can do either. To be honest, there's zero fancy smokes on this map, honestly. I'm interested in one way off here, but I don't think.
Smoke's down.
No, I don't think that's good. You might as well just re-smoke this, I think.
Smoke's down.
Or even deeper if you want to take more space in the post plant. And that's kind of it for smokes on attack here. You can also do an ult if you want to take backside. You can do this. It's also really good if you have people hookah, then they can punish anyone trying to get out of the backside. Or they might move front sight, in which case you can punish on long. And that's kind of like how I see like attacking this site. And then we're going to go through, do some post plant mollies. So we went over this one, which I actually used by accident, to be honest. There you go. That works. If you do happen to be in there, if you need to outplay or something, go aggressive to get a kill in the 2v in a 1v2 or something, then that one will go. And there's also a very simple one you can do, which is just if you line up a bit with like a tiny bit of gap here. Most of the time, if you just run and jump and shoot, this will always land like near front sight. It's it's not like super consistent where it lands. It like picks up perfectly. But it will most of the time land in this sort of area. So if you really don't know, if you're really like in a hard situation and you can't get into a lineup in time, then this is completely fine and will work. As you can see, like sometimes it can miss and go more central. So maybe you want to be planting like in this area. You are planning on doing this on this one. You don't want to be too far right. You don't want to be too far left. If anything, like these plants on this front part are usually the best plant. I would recommend doing that plant the most. And it also helps with like the lineups that I'm going to show. Okay, you have to bear with me with this one. I need to remember it. Actually, wait, no, hang on. Wrong place, that's why. You go in this corner, and you can see like there's an antenna here. And just watch what I put on the antenna. So it's like this little like dark part of the line. On the left side of that dark part, you're going to put the tip of the antenna.
Molly.
Then that should land. Or sometimes it bounces up. That's actually the first time it's ever done that, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Ah, that's great. No, it's nice to know that it's got like a 9 out of 10 to it, that sometimes it can just miss. This is where it misses again, and it's not 9 out of 10, it's like 50-50. Okay, there you go. That's what it should look like. Maybe I threw it wrong the first time. That could have probably been it. But most of the time it will land like this. I've literally never seen that. That was the first time I've seen it land like that before, and I've used that for so long. It's unreal. It's unreal, honestly. But it's okay. It works most of the time. 99% of the time that one will work. Maybe I probably just did it wrong. Okay, that's basically it. There is also one over here, so but this is for attacking. Actually, I forgot to mention this. So you want to line up these two edges, so this corner and this corner, against this back wall here. It doesn't really matter a huge amount, but you just want to get it quite low to this. So you just want to get it like maybe just above this green line, and it should land like fairly decently on the corner, and like it will just stop people from sitting back sight, or like split people up if there's two people there or one person there that have to like fight someone. That was like an attacking molly. You can also do like ones if you want to stop flooding as well. Then you can do ones like this. Flooding is like something where they'll like retake quickly, or they'll like not let you. They won't give you a chance to plant before they start to move on site. That's what flooding kind of is. So if you want to stop flooding, then mollies like this can help you as well. And that's basically it for Brim on bind. I actually like the new bind changes. I think they're 10 times better than what they did to split. These ones actually made a lot of sense and actually changed the way I think bind can be played. It can, I mean, I went over this in my bind video, so I won't go too far into detail, but I do think like these changes are definitely ones that impact the choices being made more so than the one split. On split, I don't feel like any choices are impacted, but I feel like on bind, there's actually quite a few choices that get impacted, which means that the player is going to actually have to make different decisions now with the new bind compared to the old bind. And that was also the same on macro level as well, with the new teleporter being closer to A. It means that there's less time, so there's more time for the attack to have a rotation because it takes less time to get to A from the teleporter. So I actually think there is a lot of potential that this map has changed for the better. I'm yet to see that right now because there just hasn't been enough games played in the competitive scene to know. But hopefully my like predictions about this map are true. So I'll see you in my next video. If you like the video, then give it a like and subscribe because that always helps me. So yeah, have a good day. I'll see you in my next one.